Well, welcome to those of you that have joined us now, and for those of you that are watching online. Let's just have a seat, rest in just a cross-legged position to start off with. We're just going to have a little chat. We'll regroup, review some of the stuff that we've talked about, and then we'll get into a little bit of body movement. Okay, and essentially I just want to talk about the fundamentals of what we're doing and why we're tapping into body movement and even body awareness and body attention. Now, while you're sitting here, what I would like you to do is just every once in a while, see if you can pull your navel back a little bit. It's like, sucking the gut in. You ever see that Arnold Schwarzenegger poster where he's like concave? Yeah, convex is big bear belly, concave. That's called a vacuum in bodybuilding. And it was always thought that that was one of the ways that we can control our core, and it certainly is one of them. So every once in a while, just see if you can pull that belly in a little bit and sit up a bit more upright as we just go through the next few minutes. So I'm going to talk about the foundation of really what we're going to work on today. And from our body's perspective, the way that I like to consider things is very much in line with, say, building a house. If you're going to build a house, chances are you want that house to be pretty solid, a strong foundation, well laid out, and from that solid foundation, waterproof it, right? Have all the right strength, have all the columns in the right place, all the anchors and pillars in the right place. And then on top of that, we start to build the rooms and the bedrooms and the bathrooms and kitchens and all that other stuff. And I kind of equate our athletic body to something like that as well. So basically thinking a lot of us, myself included many years ago, I would go for the type of workouts that gave me body shape, larger muscles, pardon me, but not necessarily strength. And fundamentally what I was missing was my core strength. I had enough central body, central core strength to keep me upright and do the movements that I wanted to do. But if I ever wanted to do, say, something like a plank position, I had a real hard time doing that. I did not have internal strength. So my foundation, basically I had nice bedrooms, I guess, with some bigger arms and shoulders and chest, but foundationally I was not strong. And this is the key point of what we're trying to do here through these series of movement classes is create a strong foundation. And then after that, depending on your range of motion of your arms and chest and just the other ranges of motion, you may or may not have limitations just based on where your body's at. I have ranges of motion on my right knee, so I can't flex all the way in, so I'll have a certain golf swing and I can't do anything about that. But I will be able to work and manage and work around that if I have a strong core. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if the core essentially now goes back to, let's start at the very foundation of that, is our breathing. And we talk about breathing a lot for, of course, pretty much whatever ails you. Typically our breathing pattern and our ability to change even our chemical balance within our body is all related to our breathing. So our breathing is, when we teach breathing and we start to look at breathing, we're thinking about inhalation through the nose versus the mouth. So the nose is really how we're designed to breathe, but over time, a lot of us switch that around for various reasons and become chest breathers versus big belly tummy breathers. So we want to tap into that. This is the top muscle, if you will, that's tucked underneath the diaphragm, and just underneath your rib cage. And when you inhale, that diaphragm contracts and it pushes down into the belly space. That starts to change the pressure inside of there and starts to change the way that we move and turn. If you think about, have you ever went to pick something up and when you went to pick it up, you realized, oh, this thing's really heavy, and you held your breath. Well, the reason you held your breath is because your diaphragm's pushing it down so hard, you're trying to contain this body pressure so that you're able to, with coordinated muscle effort, come on up and lift whatever it is that you're lifting. So that's a clear sign that your breathing is directly related to your core control and strength. So that comes from the top. And then the perineum, the muscle that's really deep into our pelvic area. And that's the muscle that we contract when we hold our pee. So if you think about the stream of pee, hold it, that squeeze pulls that muscle up. Now you've got one pushing down, you've got one pulling up. And then the big transverse abdominis, the deepest core belly muscle here. It's attached to the pelvis and your rib cage. That's what keeps it all together like a big weightlifter's belt. And that's our core. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. What you're doing right now, again, inhale your belly a little bit. That just starts to engage some of those core muscles. So we want to be able to have full ability for core control through core strength so that we can then move our body in various rotations. Okay, and the next part of the review is let's talk a little bit about being mindful. Of course, being mindful is being present. So finding purpose in what we're doing, having fun, of course, and also being a bit more tapped into our body's position. Are we ready? Are we relaxed? Are we tense? Are we not? And can we start to control that through our breathing? So mindfulness, just being present. And it's usually pretty great to be present, have fun with whoever we're with anyway, right? I try. Okay, and now, so I talked a little bit about core. We're going to tap into that core movement. And let's just stand up now so we can stand up and get started. And we will talk through the rest as well. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, we're going to stand up nice and tall. And for the first moment or so, I'm just going to, now I have my shoes off, so I expect most of you to take shoes off so you're feeling the feet just actually ground into on the yoga mat. But if you want to go on a hardwood floor, that's totally fine as well. And then just lift the heels and toes up. So just moving a little bit up and down, a little bit side to side. You'll see Brendan and I on the golf course often, not playing golf, but in the driving range, just without shoes on. We have a direct connection right into the soil or right into the ground space. And part of the weight transference and strength in golf comes from our ability to press a little bit down into that ground space. Now, some of us can do a little bit more than others. We're going to play with that a little bit as well today. That's another part of the entire process here. Okay, and from this point on, I'm just going to relax the arms at your side. The elbows are straight, but I'm going to lift the shoulders up, all the way up to the earlobes, and then tuck my head down. So I'm exaggerating a position of tension, actually, if you will, really exaggerating and leaving the shoulders up here, trying to breathe and breathe into my belly space. So really contracting the muscles here to hold, and then hold, take a nice big breath. Now slowly and actively lower the shoulders down. Keep lowering the shoulders. So what we're going to do here is create space between the earlobe and the shoulder. Think about a really long neck, so the top of your head becomes buoyant. The top of the head is long. So we want an elegant neck. It's referred to, I really like that term, elegant neck. So we're going to go through just a series of body movements here, and we're going to do slowly testing really ranges of motion. You're going to look straight ahead, and turn your head over to your right side. Now the head will only go so far, but if you just go a little bit more, there's always a bit of space, so just a bit more. So the range of motion is actually greater. And then relax it as you come back to center, middle position. Let's go to the other side. We're turning head to the left. Now, I can't go anymore, and I don't want to turn shoulders or ribs around or chest around. So I'm just going to turn the head just a bit more. And now come back to the center position. Lift the head up. Keep the lips closed, but head goes up. How far can you go? And then when you stop, you can contract muscles in the back a bit more, back and down. And then release that, and then come forward this time. You're going to look straight ahead, and then down, chin down. So I'm tucking my chin right into my chest. And when I can't go anymore, I'm going to try and go a little bit more. It's really very little range of motion, but it's more the energetic movement that I'm creating. Muscle contraction, isometric contraction. Nice, okay. Back to center position. So now I'm going to roll through. Our ability for range of motion increases as we roll and circle through stuff. So we're going to turn the head to the right. You're going to drop the ear to the shoulder, so it's like I'm peeking up to the ceiling here. And then I'm going to roll the head back. Keep your lips together and roll, roll, roll. Big circle as you drop your head back, and you're looking up the whole time. And then you come to the left and then drop the head down. And we're trying to really isolate this head movement. So it's only the head rolling on top of the neck that's moving here and nothing else. So the butt cheeks should not be moving, legs should not be moving, like nothing, just the head. Keep rolling, exaggerate a big, huge movement here. Make sure you're breathing. And we'll do the last one. I'm gonna come back to middle. Ooh, okay, and we'll do it back the other direction. So I'm gonna go to the left, or do the opposite. Already gone to the left, I'm not really looking. And then keep going, and then I'm going to drop the ear, peek up, and this exaggerates this twisting of the neck a bit. And I'm going to look up and behind me and do a full head circle all the way, big, big, big. And start to peek it down. As you look down, gazing at the floor, gaze at your feet, and nice big circle in the other direction. And then back to neutral position. Okay, nice stuff. We're going to just do a little bit of a stretch here. I've been doing these lately and I find them to be really good. This is all great upper body stretching stuff. Take the right arm off to the side and make a fist. Now this fist is intended to create this type of movement. So energetically, I can't straighten the arm anymore, but I'm going to keep it fairly active here as if I'm pushing away. And I'm going to turn the head to the right, to the left. So the right arm is out, turn your head to the left, and hold on to the side of the head with the left hand and start to turn the head, peek up to the ceiling and assist that with your hand just a tiny little bit, and then you're going to hold. Now take the right arm back behind you a little bit and peek up a bit more, turn the head up. Now turn the head so you look down and straight ahead, but down. Now turn to look underneath the armpit on that left side. Again, just giving that little bit of a head, a little bit of an assist. And then come back through center, slowly release it and let it go. We're gonna do the other side. So the left arm goes off, turn your head to the right, hold on to the left side of the head. I'm looking straight and I'm just gonna create just a little bit of a tug here. So I drop ear to shoulder, but I'm looking straight. Then I look up. Assist the movement, and left arm this time goes back a little bit to really stretch out the front of that shoulder. And the neck, of course, and then you're going to start to look down and look underneath, look straight, sorry, first. Keep looking down and then start to tuck and look under the armpit on the right side. Okay, good stuff. And we come back to a center position. Okay, arms again by your side. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Oh, this should feel pretty good. Oh. I feel that quite a bit. Okay, breathe in and out through the nose, okay? Close your lips. Breathe into that belly space. Bring your hands onto your belly if you like, just to feel that abdominal distension. Let's just catch a few breaths here. We're trying to keep the shoulders and chest area really calm and just breathe into your belly. Now, when you do that, at the same time, see if you can engage that deep, deep pelvic muscle as if you're about to hold your pee. As you breathe, the distension is happening, and then you're still trying to hold your pee. We'll play with that a little bit later, too, in some squatting positions. Nice. Breathe in and out. Okay, good stuff. Again, arms by your side. We're just going to roll through the shoulders a little bit. I'm going to lock the elbows so the arms are straight. Lift the shoulders up again to earlobes. And then send the shoulders back, down, and then forward. Try and create a full arm circle. Think about just the one long arm here, the arm bone, even though there's three of them. Think of it as all one as the elbows lock and just move into a big rolling circle. It's all good range of motion stuff here as we just slowly move into this stuff. Okay, now stop and let's go up and forward. Okay, a couple more, and then we'll let that go. Okay, full body stuff here. Fingers are next. A little bit of movement. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Good stuff. Bring your hands together, interlace your hands, and let's roll through some circles. I'm keeping the palms together and then create some circles, rolling through. This is just a freestyle movement. We're trying, the more circular movements that we can create in a kind of fluid-like fashion, the more control we have through our range of motion. So that's really what we're testing here, is range of motion, fluidity of movement, strength and stability through these movements. Other direction. And by nature, in appearance, they don't seem complicated, but it's extremely complicated for our bodies to be able to do this stuff without pain. Kind of key, right? Okay, now let's try a wave. So I take the elbows up and then I try and create a wave-like action. Again, whatever, I've got clunky bones here, right? And we all just have these sticks, but look at how we can create a wave with the sticks that we have because of how the muscles move and all that fine connective tissue. It's really quite incredible. Okay, other direction, regardless of what it looks like, with just a bunch of rickety old bones and some muscle tissue, I can create this nice fluid movement. Okay, bring your hands down now. Actually, this is what we're going to do. We're going to clasp. So you turn your hands the opposite direction, right? And clasp them together. And a tight grip here on the clasp. And this is going to work a bit of the back of the shoulder muscle. It's also a good way for us to do some rotation work that we're going to do. So from this position, I'm going to just start to do a circle this way. Elbows stay high. I'm trying not to do any body movement. This is just the arm that's moving. And don't release the clasp. Keep it tight. Or firm, it doesn't have to be tight, but firm enough so that you don't release. And then you try and go through a full range of motion where you extend the arms out, come back in, do these full circles. But the motion for the hands, you're always trying to do a bit of a pull out, okay? So there's tension going this way, always tension. And then do it to the inside. So we've been going to the outside, now do it to the inside. Still with tension and still with the hands clasped. So this is a little tricky at first. Okay, put the arms down and take a quick little break. Okay, feel that, Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So we're going to do that. That's when we do it this way, clasp this way, we're working more the back of the shoulder. Now what we're going to do is take one hand straight and make a fist. Put the fist and the hand together and keep the elbows up. Now do the same movement. We work the front of the shoulder. So you're punching into the hand is resisting. You should feel this on the top head of the shoulder. Really good for strength work here. And then go back in the other direction. You can even switch the fist if you like. Keep the elbows up is what we're trying to do here, is keep elbows up. Okay, whew, and release and let that go. So you should feel it right around the top of the heads of both shoulders. That should feel pretty good. It's a great warm-up to start to move the arms around. So let's just do that. I'm just going to swing my arms side to side. Now, if you notice, there's nothing else moving here, just the arms. So my core is stable enough that I'm not doing this. There's nothing wrong with doing this if you're doing it on purpose, but I'm not doing that. All I'm doing is moving the arms. Now, depending on the health of your joints, your body will allow you to swing them wildly or not, or somewhere in between. For me, it's like more of a not because of my right shoulder is buggy. I can only do a bit of this swing, try this ragdoll type movement without any torso movement. How comfortable is your body of just allowing this movement to happen? Okay, now we're going to rotate a little bit. Rotation, throw the arms around. And how comfortable, how secure is your brain with this movement? Again, now we flap. And release it and come back. Okay, nice stuff. Good job, guys. Okay, a little bit of side to side. So we're going to move through the, actually front to back at first. We're going to go through the body movements, body plane movements, front to back, Flexion, extension are what we most typically do and what we're most accustomed to, but yet a lot of us are still challenged to do this position and this movement easily. So what we're going to do is take the feet about hip distance apart, and all we're going to do is fold over. So I'm going to fold my upper body forward, but in a very controlled fashion. So I'm not bending the knees. I'm trying to keep you can bend the knees a little bit, of course, if you're tight, but I'm going to kind of control coming down and grab onto my forearms, or again, you can do that hand grip if you like, and control the descent, tuck the head down, and start to take the arms, just the forearms, a little bit closer to the floor if that's possible. If you start to shift your hips back, you'll notice that the stretch, you'll be able to move probably quite a bit deeper. In fact, let's come up and do that, and I'll show you a little bit of a trick in this movement. So I'm going to turn to the side. If I lean forward in this fashion, so if I'm leaning in this direction forward, more weight into my toes, and then I start to tip forward, my lower back and the legs will start to kick in tension really quick around here. Now, if I send my hips back, light on the toes, this lever, this upper body becomes a lot shorter for me to drop. So I can go much, much, much further, and the legs stay straight. Hips are going back and toes are super light. And that's the control of this movement. And then going to bring the elbows here, drop the head down, and with control, rise up. So if you're having a challenge moving like this slowly, then a bit of core strength is what's in the prescription, okay? So we're going to do that again. The hips go back. Notice I'm leaning back here, and my core is controlling it so I'm not falling. And then go back. It's a very simple hinging movement, but it can be quite challenging to do. And then I just hang out here and control. Slight rotation now of the upper body. So I'm taking advantage here of gravity and allowing gravity and the weight to create some length in the back tissues of my legs and my lower back as well. Okay, and then again, with control, you want to come up and then hold that position in halfway position, just halfway. Maybe release the arms to get some more weight pulling you down, but you're staying up because your core is keeping you here strong. And then slowly start to come up, 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 up. So if in that particular series of movements, if you are feeling it in your lower back, then some more work needs to be done on the front to strengthen the front body. It's the front of the body and this massive, huge transverse abdominis muscle inside, more to like this type of shape here, that is responsible for our core strength. And if we don't have that, the stuff in the back kicks in, and they're not designed for that, and that's why the back gets really sore. So think about strengthening this whole entire area, so when you create your swing, all the work is coming from here and not from the lower back. Myself included, and I can't tell you how many people that I've spoken to who play with a sore back. That's one of the reasons, is because this very strong movement that requires all this strength is coming from back here, which is not designed to do that. It's designed to come from here. But for many of us, this part of our body just tends to be a little bit weaker. Okay, that's our core, and that's what we need to come back to over and over again. We'll do some core exercises a little bit later. Okay, as we continue to move down the body a little bit, we moved into the shoulders, not too badly, so that's pretty good. Take the feet hip distance apart, bring your hands to your waist. Now just a little side shift. So we're just moving through the hip space, a little side shift, side to side. Side, side. Again, I'm trying to keep my shoulders up. I'm not doing this. I'm moving from here. Shoulders stay right on top of the hips. So just following the hip action. I'm not crunching here at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but we just don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to come to center, and now again, I'm going to move now. Imagine there's a big circle right here, like that big hula hoop, and see if we can move through that hip joint. Excuse me, plural. And slowly, and the more circular motion that we can create, the more of the depth of range of motion we go through that hip joint. So nice and slow, big circle. And let's turn it and go in the other direction. All about control, really. Once we start to break down all these different body parts, I'll have more control over an arm or wrist or whatever, the more we're able to put all the body parts together so that they can all work. So it's like basically knowing all the pieces of the vehicle and putting them together to work. Okay. And let's bring the feet a little closer together. Good stuff, you guys. Now lift the heel up. So just the heel up, and just looks like that. That's all. And just kind of stretch out the bottom of the foot and move the heel around side to side a little bit. So I want you to feel that right in here. So let's slow it down. If the foot starts to walk away from you, just bring it back. Lift the heel up. Now actively squeeze your bum in the back to open the leg out. Okay, so the leg is splaying out. Then soften back here. Tighten back here and bring it all in. Internal rotation. Now, your leg has a much greater range of motion, as does mine, but we need that strength, active strength, to be able to move just the leg like a hinge. So you're opening and then you're closing. And if you notice nothing else is moving, or at least I'm trying to minimize anything else from moving, and just allow this to open and close, open and close, open and close. Very simple movements. We just want to be able to have control over the range of motion as much as we can, okay? Now, so you're going to come down, shake that up a little bit. Pretty good. Try the other side. Wasn't this a dance at some point? It's kind of like a dance.
Definitely.
I think they did it out here. It was something like that. Okay. But anyway, controlled motion. And because we have this in our pelvis is rotating in and out during a golf swing, we need to have as much range of motion where the leg can move in through the pelvis and then the pelvis can move around the leg. So this is all good stuff. So go inside, let's go outside, and then we're going to have some strength movements with this as well. Okay, before we go there though, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. It's very dry where I am today. Okay. And we're just going to do a different type of a movement on our feet. So instead of being on top this way, you're going to lift the foot and take the toes underneath you a little bit. So it's like cracking the knuckles of the hands. Okay. And then from here, the same internal, external rotation. So it's an external rotation, the internal rotation, not too much pressure on the foot, on the right foot if this is really tight for you. I do this often. This is a great way also to fracture-proof ankles in case of rollovers, creating a long tissue into the foot. Okay, good stuff. Let that go, move the toes around a little bit. And this time let's roll over the left side. So we're going to roll over. Nice long tissue here on the foot, and then we go inside and outside. So it's an internal rotation, external rotations, all happening from right here. Okay. So a few of those. And we'll let that go. Nice stuff. Okay, the next phase is going to require just a bit of balance work. Give it the best shot, so you can hold on to a chair or hang onto the wall, or if you've got a club or something around you, we're just going to lift one leg. Now again, this lifting of legs and all this kind of stuff is just all core work. The ability to be able to have, again, nice pretty bedrooms and stuff, but a solid core foundation to hold movement. So I'm going to put more pressure into the left foot, really just press down firmly into that floor. You're going to bring your hands to your waist and lift the right leg up. I'm trying to bring the knee up in line with the hip, flex the foot, so it's really active. As much as I can, I'm going to take the leg off to the side and isolate the movement with body strength. without any tipping or additional movement, you're going to try and send the leg back and do a full circle. Bring the leg forward, up, back, and a full circle. So whatever the circle looks like for my body type and my ability to do it, I'm trying not to move anything else, and it's a big circle or small, I don't really care. More about the sensation where it feels to me like I am doing a circle. Holding the balance movement, and I'm going to do one more. Now hold here without putting the foot down if possible, and now I'm going to take the leg back, sweep it out to the side and forward. I'll do that about 5 times. This left leg is firmly planted into the ground. And this is giving me that strong strength that I need while I'm in position to swing. I'm going to do one more. And then hold, maybe extend the leg straight. Bring it back in and put the leg down. Okay. Good stuff. You're going to lift the more weight into the right as the left starts to hover. So this leg is just firmly planted straight down. I'm not just standing, I'm actually pushing it right down by keeping everything tight here. And then I'm going to send the leg off to the side, back, down, and circle. And I'm trying to, as best as I'm able, I'm trying to just create a nice big rotation. And I'll do a couple more. Let's do one more, lift and hold, good stuff. Now I'm going to send the leg back and forward, back and forward. Let's do that a couple times. And last one, maybe extend the leg back, and release that, let it go. Okay, good stuff, I feel pretty good. Let's go back to just a couple of the circles, and then I want to move through the spine a bit. So we're going to do a standing cat-cow position. Our ability to have flexion and extension is all, other direction, is all related to our ability to segment our spinal column. Column is made up of these 24 segments. They're all about an inch or so together, and they gum up. So you'll have chunks of your spine moving, the vertebrae moving, versus the individual vertebrae that's moving, which is what's really is the segmentation that's required for proper movement and rotation. All right, so bring your hands to your knees, or kind of hands to the lap, I guess. And if you notice, I'm going to arch my back quite a bit. I'm going to roll the shoulders down, get really long neck here. Otherwise, I'm tucked in, right? So this is a pretty good position for us to discover cat-cow. Again, shoulders drop, so the shoulders go down towards the hips. The head gets long. I'm going to arch the back, very little pressure here. These are just placeholders for the hands. And then I look up. This is like a cow position. And as I exhale, I'm going to tuck my chin to my chest, start to round through my mid-back, press slightly into the hands, and then tuck the tailbone under. So now you've got a rounded spine. Then you'll release your tailbone, keep your head tucked in, and slowly, one vertebra at a time, start to unfold your spine. And then you look up again. Take the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the chin back down and repeat. And then release it. So this is a cat-cow spinal segmentation movement in a standing position. We often do this on hands and knees. So we're trying to roll into the spine as much as we possibly can. We're going to do one more. Really arch, like tuck the tailbone under, curve your spine. That's it. And then straighten out. Whew. Okay, good stuff. Now we're going to try and do the same thing, but remember we were doing the folding over? Folding over very slowly. It's going to be a forward roll. So what I'm going to do first is look forward. I'm going to tuck my chin to my chest. Now that's it. I have got no more. But now I can start to roll, if you will, keeping my chin tucked in and rolling forward. Pull your belly in tight, control the movement. Go as far as you can go, maybe even bringing the hands to the floor. And then control as you come up. If this is challenging at any point of this movement, then we require a bit of work in this movement. We should be able to move through this movement with full control. Look up. Get that arch in your back. And look forward and do it again. Tuck, roll, roll. Do not let the chin come out of the chest. Not until you stand back up again. Stays tucked in the whole time. Pull the belly tight. Control the movement as the hands start to descend to the floor. Maybe even touch the hands to the floor. And then stand up. One spinal segment at a time with the chin staying tucked into that chest. Roll up. And then look up, arch your back. And release it and let it go. Whew, okay, nice stuff. Everyone down into their knees. Good job, you guys. Let's work. We're going to move into a quick child's pose position in yoga, which is knees wide and the big toes to touch. So we're going to open up the hips a little bit. We're going to sit back. So my challenge in this position is that my right knee just will not bend completely. So I can only go back so far, and that's because of scar tissue. So then, this is what I was talking about earlier. When we have these challenges with our body, in some cases surgery or whatever it happens to be, scar tissue builds up, we lose the mobility. And then in movement, like a golf swing, mine will look very different than someone else's because I can't do this full movement here. Just this alone makes a dynamic difference. I'm going to sit back as far as I can go naturally, and then I've stretched this out a lot, so even scar tissue can be stretched a little bit. Not a lot, but a bit. I used to be more up here, and now I can go back here. And this is just slow, slow, slow work. Really great for the musculature of the pelvis to open up like this. Keep the knees wide, everyone. And then if you can, just reach forward a bit. Try and bring the chest closer to the floor. Extend the arms forward. The elbows can even lift if you have a range of motion. And if the elbows lift, then you're trying to drop the chest and forehead down. Keep the shoulders up and the elbows up. And then you land in the position of great length here and a lot of depth as well in this position. And then we just breathe deeply. And take a few deep breaths as we readjust now into the floor work. So getting more balanced and grounded, being present and mindful into the movements. Okay, and now we're going to come up into a tabletop position, which is a hands and knees position, spreading the fingers wide. Knees are about hip distance. I'm going to flatten the toes out. So for now, the toes are down. Let's try and get the toes down. So it's like pointing your toes. Rock your body weight side to side a little bit. Just move into the wrists and shoulders with some body weight on it. So we'll try some body weighted movements and see how we feel, see how our core does as we work through some of this stuff. Okay, how about some circles? So after about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of that joint health work, opening up all the joints so that we can move through some weighted work now, a bit more safer. Okay, other direction. Okay, let's move into something called a bird dog position. The left arm is going to go forward up to shoulder height. So left arm forward to shoulder height. Actually, I'll turn a little bit. So left arm up. And the right leg is going to go behind you to hip height. Okay, the toes point down. You're going to take a breath in, look forward, so nice long long spine, and then you're going to exhale. Draw the knee to elbow, hold in that position, And then on the inhale, release as you kick back, straighten the leg, and then reach forward. And cycle through a few of these in a controlled fashion. And just see how you do through these movements. Try and tuck the elbow right into the knee. Full extension of both, so you don't have to do them fast. More technique and full range of motion. Do 3 more. Do the last one. Full extension hold. And then switch. Take a little break if you need to, otherwise we'll do the other side. The left leg goes back and that goes up to about hip height. The right arm goes forward to shoulder height. And then again, crunch through mid-body, elbow to knee, with control, full extension, and then go back. So we'll cycle through a few of these. They're just different strength type movements to test our core, so just see how you feel. And last 3. Notice if there's a lot of extra movement going around, or if you can hold it pretty steady. 1 more. And last one. Okay, good. Neutral position. Again, take the hands off the floor, shake them out a little bit. All right, now we're going to move into that same variation of a cat-cow, but we're going to do it here in this position. It's crucially important that we have this flexibility in our spine. It just contributes to all the movements that we try to do in the golf swing directly related to the forward folding and the twisting. So the more that we're able to segment all of these separate pieces, the more snake-like ability our body has, like the muscle tissue will then allow the movement to happen because all these spinal segments are more fluid. I hope that makes sense, because everything kind of works together, right? Okay, so here we go again. I'm dropping the belly, so the belly's coming down here, and I'm getting this arch in my back. So you want that uncomfortable position. Roll the elbows back. Again, top of the head is buoyant, so it's going straight ahead. I'm trying to like a turtle out of its shell, but look at the curve of my spine. Now I'm going to look up. So this is my spinal curve. I'm going to tuck my chin into my chest and then roll through my mid-back first between the shoulder blades as best as I'm able to segment that, and then eventually tucking into the lower back, and tailbone tucks under and rolling. With a round spine, I'm pushing into the floor, getting to this angry cat position, then release just your tailbone, work up the spine again through the shoulder blades, head is last to come up. And then eventually you can speed this up a little bit and cycle through it a bit faster once these spinal segments are more clear. And do the last one, and neutral position. Okay, really, really super stuff. Good stuff to be able to do this movement. This anterior posterior tilt is absolutely crucial for the movement in golf to be as effective as you can make it. Okay. Again, testing strength and movement. We're going to do a donkey kick balance cat-cow. Now, you can keep the toes pointed, or the left toes can come up. The right leg is going to come up. You're going to keep the knee bent. This is as if the right leg is pushing up to the floor. So if the leg is out, bring it in. And then you're going to get sag the belly, so you get this arch in your back as you kick up and look up. And then I'm going to tuck under and then bring the knee to nose, rounding my back, and then release it. So it's a donkey kick, and then tuck into cat. Donkey kick up, tuck. Nice. Any amount of movement here, just to create this strong crunch ability and segmenting through the spine. I'm going to do 3 more. Kick, round, kick, round, and kick. And then release it and switch and do the other side. Good stuff. Okay, this time my left leg goes up. Keep the knee bent, arch the back, Shoulders away from ears, look up, kick, and then tuck. Kick and tuck. Kick and tuck. And kick and tuck. Nice and slow, big exaggerated movements. Crunch that belly really nice and tight there when your knee comes in. Do 3 more. And 1 more, last one. And great job. Okay, again, take the hands off the floor, give the wrists a little bit of a shake. We'll move through the leg a little bit more. We'll see how we are in this particular position of balance and leg strength. Hands come down onto the floor, but you're going to bend the left elbow down. Okay, so left elbow is down. I'm going to lift the right leg up. So kind of like a fire hydrant position here. So I'm holding my balance. I'm going to keep my right hand down, but I can take it off. I'm balanced enough to do it. And otherwise, we're just going to close, open, close, open. And try doing this with one arm. Open and close. Open and close. This top part of the butt should start to burn after about 10 of these. So we're going to do about 20. There's 10 for me. 10. And you lift and hold. It's a lift and hold for 1 brief second. 5. There we go. Burn. 6. 7. 8. Right up here. 9. And do 1 more. And in a controlled fashion, come up. Hands back down. Right arm down. Left leg out. Butterfly leg position. Flex the foot. And if you can take that left arm off out of the way, cool. And let's do 20 of these. Wow, this is really challenging on this side for me for sure. 10 more. And I think I've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one, and then slowly come up out of that one. Woohoo! Good stuff. All right, let's get down onto the floor. In a more onto our back position, I should say. We're already on the floor, so we're going to get down. Lie down, bring your knees into your chest, rock the body weight a little bit side to side. Good stuff. Okay, let's straighten the legs out. Put the legs straight. The arms by your side. Now for most of us, we should feel that arch in our back. Lying in this position, do what you need to do to get rid of that arch in your back. So you can try to tuck under a little bit, pull that belly in tight. Try maybe even bending the knees a little bit. Maybe even a bit more, and then put the pelvis back so you feel the sacrum landing flat onto the floor. And then you're going to lift one leg up, that lower back onto the floor. Lift the other leg up and then hold. Make sure that lower back does not pop off the floor. Now you're going to lower your legs just to a point where you cannot control your leg or you can't control that lower back, so pull back just a tiny bit, about 1 inch or so. That's the end point of your range. You're going to hold there and build on it to create more strength. So eventually you can let the legs go almost to the floor and the lower back is still held there because you're able to suck in everything so tight, and then you'll never feel this in your lower back at all. Draw your knees back in, give yourself a little break. Okay. Right? Yeah, that's a burner. So that's that test. That's how you test how low you can take your legs. Because if that back starts to come up, that's what's kicking in. It's going to hurt. So we want total back strength as much as we can. So let's test that with one leg at a time. I'm going to drop a heel and lift. Try not to move anything here. Leg, tap, heel, tap, And we do try it. Now, initially, you may have to bend your knees a lot. Otherwise, if your leg goes too straight, you may lift up. So this is the play here, the progressive movement. The knees are more closed as they come down, and eventually they start to straighten. And then you can take more of a straight leg with the lower back onto the floor. This is how we isolate these movements. So the pelvis can totally stay flat, just the legs moving. Do 5 more. In any of those positions, just keep the lower back onto the floor. Last one. Now draw both knees into your chest. Whew. Give a soft little hug. It's nice. Rock side to side. Okay, from this position, the next core movement, this is also a great way to strengthen your core. Again, bring your hands to your lap just the way you did them before and flex your feet. Knees are about 90 degrees, so I'm not too far back, certainly not too far forward. Somewhere in the middle, just like a tabletop position. If I was sitting in a chair, this is kind of what it would look like. Now I'm going to start to actively draw the knees back, but resist with my hands. And notice when you start to do this, the center of your body starts to get vacuumed into the floor. That lower back will just press right into the floor, and we want that. So how far you decide to cook this depends on you. You can be about 4 out of 10, 10 being the most, or you can crank it up to 6 or 7. Essentially, the knees are coming back, but you're not allowing it because you're pressing forward. Vacuum that belly tight, just like Arnold in that poster. If you've never seen that poster, look up Arnold Schwarzenegger and vacuum. It's a classic poster. I think it was black and white. Okay, I'm going to hold here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the feet, take a quick break. Now I feel that like I've been contracting, not as if my belly's been punched, but certainly I can feel a strong contraction, and it's deep. This is what we're aiming for here. We're not doing ab stuff here. This is not to get a 6-pack. This is to get the foundation. The 6-pack is the neat stuff that comes after, but it's completely useless. Completely useless if you don't have this stuff deep. Okay, we're gonna do one more in this position, and then we'll start to wrap it up. Okay, that's quite a bit for today. So what we'll do is the same position, find it, lower back into the floor, and be at about a 3 or 4 out of 10. So if I came by and tried to pull your hand off, it wouldn't happen, right? So you're pressing at least that much. And then what you're gonna do is keep that pressure on the left side, but release the right side. Extend the arm, extend the leg. Hold what's happening with the lower back. Come back. Right hand, right knee touch, and you separate the other side. Come back. Try and keep the lower back as is, so you maybe only go this far. I can go all the way, and I can pretty much hold it, not too bad. If ever I feel my lower back happening, I just reduce the movement. So essentially, if it's just a little movement at first, it's cool, and then you switch, a little movement at first, cool, and eventually we build on it. So we fatigue pretty quick in this position, so we'll just do a few more. Last 3, 2, and last 1. Okay, both feet come down. Ooh, and then we come on up. All right, well, that's our review and class for today. We're all done.
That was a good one, Lou.
All good stuff for the core, build core strength, core foundation through proper movement, technique, and breathing. All good stuff. Okay.
That was awesome. Thank you, Lou. Thank you to those who joined us today and those who are going to join us on our mat later this week when the recording goes out. Have a happy new year to everyone that I won't see for lessons before the new year, and happy holidays, of course, as well. So all the best, everybody.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks, everybody. Have a happy holidays as well, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.